Welcome to the Special Shot Podcast. We got a great interview today. We got Gil and we got Jason and we got Josie here knitting with us for today. But I'm really excited about this, guys. First of all, thank you for your time. I appreciate you all.
Thanks for having us.
And so let's kickstart this off with the easy question here. What is Kozmik Bumz and what inspired that name?
Oh, wow. I got to answer this? It's like a serious question, and I'm fucking wearing a cat head. So Kozmik Bumz is a project that Jason and I started about a year and a half ago. It's an IP project. It's a trading card collection, minting on Solana. And it's all about choosing a path, either to riches or enlightenment. And we ask everyone, what are you going to fucking choose? Are you choosing riches or enlightenment?
I love that. I love that. How did you come up with the concept of bumps?
Well, I mean, look at my face. I mean,
I see nothing wrong with it.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Look, we're all, what is Kozmik Bumz? We are all just travelers on this planet, floating on a little rock in space. And we have no clue what we're doing. And despite what anybody tries to tell you, we don't know shit about what's going on and what the universe even is. Kozmik Bumz, cosmic is obviously universe, and Bumz comes from this book I read by Jack Kerouac called Dharma Bums. It's an old book about the beatniks in the 50s, and it's all about, like, you know, traveling the world, doing a bunch of drugs, hanging out with people, like figuring out what life is all about. And I think we as humans on this planet are all cosmic bums, dude. We're just bums in the universe, traveling on a little rock around a giant fireball, trying to figure out what the hell we're doing here.
Yeah. And bum's not a bad word, right? I think it sometimes gets a bad rap, but being a bum is about fucking exploring, right? Bumming around, right? Learning about yourself, finding opportunities, finding yourself. And that's just, you know, that's the spirit that we want to put into this collection.
I love that. And that's a really nice way to put the philosophy of it at the end of the day. So
well, real quick, one of the things is that originally the project was called Doodle Bums.
What was it called?
Doodle Bums.
Dude, okay.
So Milo here, aka Gil, loves doodles. He can tell you a little about it, but it's like the purest form of art, right? In the same way that being a bum is, like, it's pure exploration. You don't know where it's going to go. Anybody can do it, right? Whether you're talking on the phone or staring off into space, whatever. It's like this free form expression, whether it's lines or faces or whatever. And it's really, I think it kind of captures the spirit of a bum, right? Of your path, of like, anybody can fucking do it. You just have to do it.
Yeah. And speaking of exploring, what are you guys aiming to do with Cosmic World and Kozmik Bumz in general?
World domination, first and foremost. Okay? Like, honestly, like, if you just told me, you know, with no bullshit, right? What we want to do is create one of the biggest brands in the world. I mean, everybody knows Harry Potter. Everybody knows fucking Hello Kitty. Everybody knows South Park. Everybody knows Pokemon. All those big, we'll call them IPs, intellectual property, but all those big projects, these worlds that have been created from characters, they all started somewhere. And we want to do that with our trading card collection. We want to be, you know, one of the first or one of a few projects to come out of Web3 that become household names and a worldwide global brand.
Yeah, and I mean that's native to our focus, right? We spent a lot of time in Web3 over the years. We spent a lot of time in Web2. So we are just fucking like going to be super aggressive and, you know, building this community in here that we believe in, because we still believe in the promise of Web3. We want to be a model for what that looks like and just go concentrically out as quickly as possible, right? To expand our audience, to go into Web2, to go into TikTok, to go into Instagram, to go into the places where we know this IP can travel. And all of that is going to feed back to Kozmik World, to Kozmik Bumz holders, to our core community that's with us from the beginning.
By the way, am I yelling?
It's perfect. It's fine.
Okay.
Don't
make me cry.
I was gonna say, if you want to take it off, because we're
it off.
jump into,
I'm not taking this
Take
off.
it off.
Ever.
I mean,
until I die of the fumes from the foam that's holding this in place, I'm not.
The foam.
I'm happy to jump into the OnlyFans version of this where you actually do take it off. No, I'm just
Only
kidding.
cats.
You know what? If we can make some money doing that, let's do it. I'm down.
We're pivoting. Okay, here's some alpha. We're pivoting our entire business model right now. We're no longer doing collectible cards. We're doing
I
only.
don't think any cartoons have OnlyFans yet, or do they?
Ooh, there you go. There you go. But no, I actually want to jump into your background, Gil, and your story in general because, and I'll kind of like maybe revisit a little bit of the context for people who may be new to the space of Web3, people who maybe might forget. A lot of us have forgotten already. There was a point where a celebrity come into the space. I want to say 2021, 2022, give or take, right around there, right? I'm thinking we're Gary Vee, Johnny Depp, some Soulja Boy at one point, Kevin Hart, even a couple other professional sports players as well, in some way, shape, and form. And more or less, they all flopped, right? Whether they didn't understand what they were getting into, they signed away their name for whatever reason, yada yada yada, right? And fast forward a little bit to today, the celebrity meta now is, hey, pump.fun. Here's the contract address. Buy my coin. And they go ahead and throw it on all the Instagram stories, right? And now all that to say is, Gil, you are someone who has been an animator for South Park for, from what I remember, 10 years, a decade, give or take a couple years. You have also, like Jason just said earlier, you have been in this space, understanding the culture, the meta, how fast the meta shifts sometimes. And so what inspired you to even come into Web3 in the first place? But also, if you don't mind, let's touch on your story a little bit. You have an extensive background and you're pretty fucking legit, my man. So why don't you dive into that a little bit?
I'm not a celebrity. Sorry about hitting the mic there. Look, first of all, I'm not a celebrity. But I do have some cachet, and I'll tell you a little bit about what I talk about when I talk about South Park. I did work on the show for 8 seasons. I worked on the movie for a year, as long as production was. I was a key member of the animation team for a long time. I spent nights, late nights, many weeks out of the year creating the show. We did a show in 6 days consistently for months at a time. We would literally be in the studio, 16, 17 hours a day, repeatedly for months. So I kind of worked in the trenches. I think the important thing that I learned at South Park is what it takes to create and be a part of a phenomenon that's bigger than yourself. And I don't think I really even appreciated it as much at the time as I do now that we're kind of building our own thing. But I'm learning, it's like all the learning that I got from South Park, I'm actually learning them right now, because being a part of a phenomenon is something really special, is a part of my history, but I also know what it takes to tell the stories, to build the brand, to be there day in and day out, the work that it takes to actually create something great. So I think at the end of the day, it's my cachet, but it's just, a piece of what I'm bringing to Kozmik Bumz, which is truly like a unique project, and in a way that I hope South Park was. Will we get to be as big as South Park? I mean, I hope so, but that's never guaranteed. Some of these successes are, a lot about luck and a lot about timing. But what I do know is that we can make something that, for hopefully a select few people, is just as impactful and like really makes them laugh and smile. And that 10, 20 years from now, like people are like, dude, I grew up with that. I grew up with Kozmik Bumz. I fucking loved it as a kid. I had your trading cards. I bought your merch. I played your game, and it influenced me, and it taught me something, and it made me laugh or smile. That's what South Park has taught me, and that's what I want to bring to Kozmik Bumz. Sorry if that was a long-winded answer, but
I'll add more. I'll add more wind.
More?
Yeah, moss wind. I think like we can't comment on what did or didn't lead to previous projects. That led to them failing. I think one thing that's fundamental to us in our experience is that we know that like nothing happens without the right team, and ideas are worth the paper they're written on. Promises are worth nothing, right? Like you need a team that can execute. You need like, Gil's art has been around for a long time, right? He's been doing this for many, many years, but it's only at this point that the kind of convergence of the world that he's created with his art, what I bring on the strategic side, what Lofo brings on the marketing side, the rest of our team brings, we're solid. And I think that that's one thing, is that you don't know how markets are going to shift. All you can do is stay true to the vision and continue to execute on that. And I think a lot of people sometimes, especially when things are really pumping, it's easy to get distracted. There's bright, shiny objects everywhere. So, I think we're really, for us, speaking for us, like we're really focused on what this vision is, on building the community around this IP. The rest will all reveal itself, as our market grows, as our consumers grow, as our audience grows, as our fans grow, as our holders grow. So we're not too worried about like trying to, find the shortest point from point A to point B. Like,
Yeah. You guys are going above and beyond the short-term vision that a lot of people or a lot of projects try to pander to.
Yeah.
For people to become interested in them before trying to do a little pivot to, hey, now that we have your attention, can we try to do this? And people are just like, no, we're going to the next thing already.
I mean, dude, we've been fucking building this shit for a year and a half right now in brutal conditions.
Yeah.
And so it's cool to see the market coming back now. And I think that the tailwinds are, we have tailwinds, but it's all aligning with what we set out to build a year and a half ago and what's kind of coming to market now. So
Sansa,
sir.
We want to have fun. We want to do something cool. Like, I think that there's a lot of like FUD in this space for projects because, a lot of people are just trying to like siphon cash and attention and all this stuff. And you know what? There's a place for that. Like, I'm not gonna, harp on anybody or talk down or about any project or anything. But I think we're doing something that for me is like a lifelong quest. It's from the heart. It's about my art. It's about putting the art out there and empowering the team to do great stuff. I mean, hell, our team has been together now for like over a year, working, building something where there's no promise of anything coming out of it, and we're still having fun and people love it. And I think that's the key to like longevity, is to have a good, strong team, like Jason said, that's having fun doing what they're doing and just want to fucking continue doing it. I'm sure you relate to that.
Yeah, I actually wanted to also kind of emphasize something that Jason said as well, is that you said you've been building this for a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And I already know that how some people are thinking, in the sense of, well, we've heard that before, but we haven't heard that before with the collective experience that your team has, and what you guys bring to the table. More importantly, and you said this earlier, which was that you are carrying out the vision that you initially set to do. You didn't have a vision and then change halfway through,
right,
but claim that it's always been the vision all along, right? That's the important part, and that gets proven over time.
Yeah.
And so
it's not that we won't have moments. We're gonna have tons of fucking moments that capitalize on what's going on right now, but it's all tied to the broader vision, right? It's not about going all in and just pivoting because we're fucking shitting our pants because the meta changed. It's like, oh no, we got to run over here and run over there. I've seen, that's not even a Web3 thing. That's all businesses. People panic, people get freaked out, but like, we're pretty fucking focused.
Well, stop using profanity.
Sorry.
It was not appropriate for the children in the audience.
I'm not taking advice from a cat.
I told you this. We've talked about this, dude. No, look, I think I think at our core is like a story and a set of characters and a world that we've been working on. We have this world called Eterna that's run, by this like mysterious cult, and we have a kind of god character in there called the Master Creator. And if you've ever seen on our posts, some of the people who comment with "All hail the Master Creator," and it's kind of like a joke that we came up with, as if there's like, a god that, or some kind of like creator who is, sort of pulling the puppet strings, so to speak. So like we have a message and a story. You know, we ask everybody who enters our Discord to choose a path, either the path to enlightenment or the path to riches, which is so appropriate, and especially for this community and this space where we have, you know, some people here for great art, some people here just to make money, and you know, everybody's being asked in their lives to choose a path. And so we have like a real base of a story that we've created here. And then from here on out, like the cards, the digital card packs that we're releasing are just like one part of this equation. They're going to tell a small part of the story. After that, we're growing the story in any way that we can. Like we have plans for a potential series with my background on South Park and Jason's background on growing YouTube network. So we have that capability. We also have some licensing things that we're putting together with brands. We don't know what's going to hit, but we know that whatever we do, we're going to grow that world and that ethos and that brand outwards.
I love that. And we've been diving into the story and the experience and background behind everything. I kind of want to take a slight little pivot here to a very easy question, a little bit more technical than Web 2 might like. But why pick Solana compared to other blockchains in the space? What's the thoughts behind that?
Because we love Solana.
Yeah.
We love Solana. Like, I think Solana has been from the beginning a place for IP, a place for cool characters, for cool art, and the transaction fees are doable for our project. We need, you know, low transaction fees. Like, we can't have people paying $80 for a fucking transaction. And so we think it's a great space, and a great chain for us. I think it's perfect for like the kind of style of stuff that we do. Jason, I don't know.
No, it's we need something like Solana to make our vision come true, right? Yeah, like Gil was saying, whether it's like the reductions in gas to even like they're just fucking crushing it right now, right? Like the releases that are coming out are all totally in line with like, you know, creating infrastructure that's going to allow us to do what we want to do, whether it's the customizing of our NFTs, accessory collections, branded, they're launching the accelerator, they're bringing more people in, the roll-ups, you name it. Like all of these things are in line. And we just believe it, that this is, you know, they have a real shot to be the place for NFTs. Maybe there's obviously going to be places for mainnet, for ETH, for fine art, or whatever it may be. But for projects like ours, where you're building a world, where you're building IP, where you're building merchandise, and you're building this media brand, we have to have the ability for our holders, our fans, to interact in a way that's going to be affordable and it's going to be easy. So
they're the
it just
people's
makes
party.
sense. They're the people's
people's party.
Speaking for the people of Web3,
Yes.
will there be a token?
No comment.
Yes. I mean, we're building, you know, look, I'm going to jargon it out. We're building an ecosystem, right? We're not just dropping a pure collection, right? We're building a media brand. We're building IP. In order to do that, we need to have a lifeblood that's going to allow people to interact in different ways, transact, to accrue value, to get rewards. And the token will be at the center of that, right? So, you know, our working title is Kozmik Coin, and we'll be giving more information about that. But yeah, man, like the way we look at this is that we love the world of psychedelics, we love the world of art, and we want to expand to create a network of like-minded creators, like-minded artists, like-minded brands, and bring them in, right? And I think if we have the token, it's going to create the kind of connective tissue for all of these people to be brought in, and for our fans to be exposed to new and cool, you know, ideas, brands, services, and vice versa. So, you know, it's really kind of part of our grand vision around network effects, and the token is really going to allow that to happen.
I want to make sure I phrase this right. There are a lot of tokens out there that have gone wrong, right? And we've seen a lot of communities out there not do well with that. And so if you had to, and this is me playing just a tiny bit of devil's advocate, what do you think will make the difference here with the token from Kozmik?
Sure. I think the biggest thing is that there's substance behind it, right? We're building a business, we're building media, we're building an IP. So a token just for a token, there's nothing else there. If the token dumps, it's over. It's the same thing. If you have just a collection that's just, some pictures and there's nothing else attached to it, it's over, right? So we're kind of threading the needle between like we're kind of part meme and part utility. On any given day, people could give a shit about either of those, or maybe one comes back into fashion. Like we're not.
Can I just interject one little thing? Like, can you guys like imagine if when Pokemon was built, there was a token? What that token would be worth today, or would it? I mean, maybe I'm totally off base here.
I'll be rich right now. All the people who play Pokemon.
Like, can you imagine?
I would have a much easier time selling my Pokemon cards of 4 binders. That's for sure.
Dude, imagine if you had bought a card pack of Pokemon in 2002 or whenever the hell, and it came with a bunch of tokens. What would that look like today?
Are you gonna tell us?
No, I have no fucking clue. I'm asking you guys because we need to write it up into our business plan.
But it gets to like what we want. Look, dude, we're native to this space. We want everybody to make money, right? We recognize the power of the token to do that. We recognize how these things feed off of each other. So that's just us being, conscious of where we're coming from. And then longer term, as we continue to expand, right, we recognize the value of that to bring in new people. So it's not really rocket science. And the bottom line is there's more to our business than just a token. There's more to our business than just the NFT. So you're either buying in on this grand vision and how this IP is going to become a global brand, and all of this will be, will permeate throughout it.
Yeah, look, we're building, we're building an ecosystem of IP
ecosystem
and product,
ecosystem,
a universe, if you will, a cosmic universe. It's in the name. But we're building like an ecosystem, and we want to use all the tools available to us to incentivize people to engage, to interact, to have fun, to be able to reap rewards from the project as it grows, as we build the world out. So I think it's actually really simple. It's like the more tools you give people to do stuff with, the more they'll do. And at least that's what we're hoping. And with the IP and the characters and the world as sort of the center of it all.
I think maybe even a reference is like, I used to work over with Elio Trades over at Superverse, and what they've done with the super token right now, it's super cool, right? No pun intended. Like they have this, they're really all in on Web3 gaming, and they've created this killer community, right? Where the token is permeating into, is being supported by Web3 games, and vice versa. The holders are getting access to these games, right? And they can be beta testers. So it's this cool, like symbiotic relationship where the token makes sense. If I want to hold it and I'm a gamer, I'm going to get access to these games, vice versa. I can transact, and the games are going to get access to this community. So those are the kind of network effects that I think if they're focused on a niche, whether it's Web3 gaming or whether it's more of this broader psychedelic world that we're going into, there's a real use case for that, right? And we're seeing it. I mean, like that token continues to pump every time the market comes back, and it's bringing more people in. So that is amazing value, and we would love to replicate some version of that with Cosmic World.
Yeah, good job, dude, by the way. Good answer.
A token with actual utility? How dare you, good sir?
It's fucking Snorefest.
Hey, look,
the Degens want absolutely no utility.
Zero.
No, I'm just
we could strip away the utility. I will take a poll, and we can just totally strip away all the utility. At the end of the day, I think people can do.
Or we can just take the money and not even send you the token.
A token's a fucking token. If you don't want the utility, don't use it. Who cares? Like the thing is, these are all tools. And I'm making this up as I go along. So if if it's bullshit, then just cut it out. But I think like these are all tools, and we want to give our community, our fans, our audience, everything that they can to do whatever they want with.
So
nailed it.
Well done. Well said.
Silent applause.
I guess. Don't hold my hand. That's
Sign language. Jason, kind of bringing this back to the point here where you were discussing with community when we were talking about that, and then you mentioned IP. And I kind of, from what we've talked about, I kind of want to stress the importance here that this isn't the typical narrative that we've heard 2022, 2023, where we're talking about community ownership slash decentralized IP.
Sure.
Right. So how would you guys explain IP as it pertains to Kozmik, and so people can get a clear expectation of that?
Well, I mean, first, there's going to be, I just want to say, like, we are big believers in community involvement. So there are going to be plenty of opportunities for holders to weigh in on like where we're going. It's not going to be a one-to-one relationship where, you know, there's a DAO and everybody's voting on everything. We don't feel like that's not productive, because then we're in the business of managing the DAO, not in the business of growing the IP and growing the community. Right. So I think the best way for us to serve our holders is going to be able to make decisions quickly, have a small council that addresses these issues, and move fast, right? Rather than getting tied up in, I mean, like, it's the fucking opposite of crypto. Like, we don't want to get tied up in bureaucracy, right? Like, and I think that sometimes people get a tendency to do that. So I don't know if this guy wants to say anything else to that, but
I'm just the cat. No, I'll say this in terms of one of the things I learned on South Park is that you have to have good leadership, and South Park was nowhere near perfect. It was kind of more like it was a little bit like a feudal system versus, you know, like, it wasn't the best environment for people, right? But and I'm not like talking bad about them. It ran the way it needed to run. But one of the things that was really important is that there were heads who were really careful and strong about how they ran the brand and how they made sure that the brand ethos and the brand essence stayed in place and was, you know, and continued to grow, right? They made a lot of decisions, like, you know, Trey in particular made a lot of decisions that would go against everything that, you know, Comedy Central wanted to do. But it had to be done in order to keep the brand alive.
Our collection comes from Gil. The art comes from Gil. He's been working for years building this universe out. Some collections come from 5R, they come from whatever. They're not attached to the same soulful creation of like the meticulous work that's been done putting this together. So it's not as different. It's not as much of an issue to like let the community have those, right? It's different here. There has to be creative direction. There has to be creative ownership, and you have to be able to move quick. And we don't, you know, like, even as a co-founder and Gil's partner, like, I don't want to fuck that up. I don't want to mess up the, you know, like, everything that he's created because, you know, I have an idea.
Basically, I need to rule with an iron fist on the creative. No, it needs, you need to direct it. What's that?
Nothing.
The timing on that was impeccable. But no, and so from here, what I actually want to jump into is because when the conversation jumps to IP, it is almost I don't want to say exclusively, but more often than not, it's tied to mass onboarding, or it's tied to this is what onboarding looks like, or this is, you know, and you mentioned that you are mindful of that holders are getting rewarded in some way, shape, and form as it pertains to IP as well. So, like, with that in mind, what does mass onboarding look like to you guys, and how would you explain that?
From my perspective, right, you want to build an audience, right? I don't know if mass onboarding, and this is just this is not a party line of our project. This is just me talking, you know, for myself. Is mass onboarding the most important thing? You know, like, is it even important? We need to bring people who want to engage with us in the way that they want to engage with us. If you're a Web3 person, we have, you know, Web3, crypto, that's where we come from. That's our origin. That's always going to be there. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that. You can enjoy our shorts. You can buy our products. You can, you know, watch our content. Like, you could do all kinds of stuff. At the end of the day, I don't know if it's that important. You know, I'm a surfer, as you can tell, cosmic surfer, but I'm a surfer. And, like, you know, there's this issue in surfing where the World Surf League is always trying to to grow bigger and get people watching surfing. And they're like, you know, doing these big broadcasts and stuff. Surfing is fucking boring to watch. If you don't surf, like, why would you want to watch like two people bob in the ocean for like 3 days, which is how long it fucking takes to have a surf contest? Like, so it's like there's this whole thing of like, oh, we got to get everybody watching surfing. It's like, no, you don't. Get the core people who are really interested in it and give them the best product possible. So for Web3, we give them the best product possible. If you're on Instagram, if you're on TikTok, if you're on Netflix, if you're shopping at Target, right? Like we give you the best product possible. And I think like we talked a little bit about, we were going to talk about the mint experience at some point. And, even with this mint that we've created, and we can get back to it or talk about it now, but like we've done something different. We've created these packs. We spent a lot of time like creating an experience for people that we think will be fun and interesting and different. But at the end of the day, we're trying to do something different and unique. We'll do that wherever we are.
Well, and I think, look, our job is to build cool shit that's fun,
Yeah.
and to build an audience. We're not a tech company, right? Like the Solana devs are working on the shit that's going to onboard people, right? They're like, we'll use that stuff as it becomes available, as the devs and all these projects that are going to hackathons and accelerators. They're the ones that are pushing the word NFT and the tech into the background. That's what's going to onboard people. Our job to our holders is going to be just build the largest audience possible, build the biggest brand possible. The onboarding will happen, like as it goes. All we can do is build great shit.
I love that. And I actually do want to jump into the mint experience as well. Again, you touched on that, Gil. And so what does the mint experience look like?
Find out.
Fuck around and find out. Let's go.
Buy some fucking Kozmik Bumz, yo.
A lot of horses.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
What?
It's a super cool, exciting, orgasmic experience. It's
nice.
It's really unique, actually. So there's like 3 stages to the mint process, right? So the collection we built, arguably we over-engineered it. Like it's massive.
It's totally over-engineered.
It's ridiculous.
It's over-engineered.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
So
we should have just done a PFP collection.
we should have just bought a horse.
Should have just taken a vacation to fucking Italy, I'm telling you, instead of do this.
I feel like we're a couple that's regretting how much we spent on our wedding.
Yeah.
But it's a super cool experience. Like we really wanted to recreate the feeling of like getting a new card pack and opening the pack. So there's a whole opening experience, which you get your pack, you mint that, then you open it. Every holder is going to get 3 cards, your kind of base bum. And we had this entire a ridiculous amount of accessories. So you can like pimp out your bum, kind of like Mr. Potato Head, build a bear, build a bum, whatever. So everybody gets their base bum. They get their 2 accessory cards. And then you can do another mint as well by burning the accessories. They go onto your bum and you get a new NFT featuring whatever you decided to put on it. So it's a super cool experience. It's unique, but more importantly, I think what you're getting at maybe is like, all of this is like us thinking long-term, right? Like how can we build things that are flexible, that as the market changes, as more people get onboarded, we have as much flexibility as possible to continue to do creative stuff that allows our collection to not become stagnant, right? So that these things that are finite objects are as flexible as they can be for holders in 5-10 years to become, when we become, Harry Potter, when we become Pokemon, like we don't want to be like stuck. It's like, oh shit, if we only would have like had more foresight. Obviously, we're not going to think of everything, but it kind of, I think it's going to give us, I don't know if Milo agrees, like the most creative flexibility to do cool stuff and honestly to make money. Like,
yeah. Look, that's your strategic thinking. And I
can't win with you.
No.
You had me at orgasmic experience.
You always do this.
No. There's the strategy aspect, which is, long-term and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I think whatever you do it as well as possible. Put as much love and effort and thought into it as you can. I'll just go back to South Park. Like that was, for Train Matt, they're 25 years. Like, let me give you another example. So Matt Groening started The Simpsons. He did the first few seasons, and then when it went on after a while, he left. He took off after a few seasons. I think he was there for a few seasons, and then he stopped working on it. And Matt and Trey to this day do all the voices. They show up to every single episode. They write every single episode. You know, they're there 25, 6 years later that the show exists. Like, they're still there, hands-on, trying to outdo the last season. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I don't know. I think, like, do what you love. Like, do it for the fun, do it for the passion, do it to do something different and surprise people.
I love it.
Preach it.
I mean, apparently you always do this, so
Right?
Jason. No, but I will say this. I'm pretty sure you had all the viewers at an orgasmic experience, so that was probably
Yes.
solid.
We just put them in the orgasmatron.
Couple questions, maybe like quick speed round. Jason, we did mention this a little bit earlier. Are NFTs dead?
The word NFT is dead. No, NFTs aren't dead. Kozmik Bumz is going to be the first one to bring them back, I think, right? People are going to be... I have no fucking idea what I'm saying. Fucking no, dude. No. They're digital collectibles, dude. NFTs, like, we're building a media brand. We're building IP. You can hold it in your hand or you can hold it in your fucking USB. Like, take your pick. Like, there's going to be physical shit, digital shit, like, just, pull your pie.
Look, I don't think that, NFTs is just tech, right? We're putting out really cool art, right? So we can talk about the tech, but our art's cool. Like, it's fun. It's, we've created a fun experience. Yeah, maybe nobody buys it, but buy it. No, look, we don't know what's going to happen. There's obviously like market sentiment, but what we hope we've done is created something that's cool enough and people want to be a part of it. And we're going to do, and I'll just say this, like, we're going to keep going one way or another. We're going to get this world and these characters and these ideas out there. This collection is the first one. We sure as hell want to sell it out, like, we didn't put all this work to not sell out. So yeah, we want to sell it out. We want you to buy it and you to buy it and them to buy it. We want everybody to buy it. Buy 10. But regardless, like, we're going to continue.
Yeah. And I think that's a great point. And whatever the term du jour is, like, what's not going to go out of style is that if we continue to ship product, we continue to form partnerships, we do licensing deals, the ebbs and flows of the market, like, our floor price is going to be solid. The token price is going to be, like, all of that will stay solid as long as we're continuing to execute whatever people's perception of the word NFT is. Like, if we're delivering, everybody's going to benefit.
Yeah,
so.
I love it. Oh, one more question. Chris is like, what's question he's going to ask now?
Blue, 37. Fish.
Pineapple on pizza.
Dude.
How do we feel? Oh, okay. Yeah. Happy in the first half.
Yeah.
And on that note, we are wrapping up this beautiful podcast. Gil, Jason, thank you so much for your time today. Gentlemen, I love you. Thank you. And that's it.
Sansa, thanks, dude.
Thanks, Sansa.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This has been super fun.